Well, what's up, everybody? I'm on with a character who apparently uh, he's the most bombastic character on the paddock.
Sorry, just wiping I'll get with you in a minute. There you go.
Yeah, according to some, apparently I get myself into trouble a
I'm
lot
emotional
because
right now too. Can you tell?
yeah, you're super emotional about it.
Yeah.
Bombastic character. Are you the most
Yeah.
bombastic
Yeah,
character?
I heard that Corn Dog said that the reason why you're so annoying to everyone is
Uh huh.
because your mentor is the most bombastic person in the paddock. Isn't that what he told you?
Something like that. Yeah.
Bombastic. So people think bombastic is just being like big, but bombastic means really you're kind of loud and full of shit.
Okay.
That's bombastic.
Yeah. I don't
So
know.
maybe so. I don't know.
I
So,
don't. I don't really.
I was
I don't really call you full of
not
shit.
against Corn Dog. I mean, I really like the dude.
Me
But
too.
if there's always the but, right?
Oh,
But if you're not up on physics, and then you have a guy who is, and then you get in an argument with him, and then you say the sky's not blue, then the other guy's the guy who says no, the sky is blue. Let me prove it to you. May sound a little bombastic. That's
yeah.
all I gotta say.
And I know you usually have the show and tell stuff, but I got some stuff to
I
take
do
me.
have show and tell stuff.
Oh, you do? Okay, you go first then. You go
So I
first.
remember way back when we started doing this silly stuff, and
Yeah.
I said I had my rider translator.
Right.
Looks like a lot like a Star Trek device, where they got the guy can talk in all kinds of nonsense, that's doing this, it's doing that. So I had these little things right here. They're the rider translator, right?
Right. Yeah.
You stick them into your ears, and everything's perfect. You just nod and you say, "We'll fix it." Right? You can
Okay.
understand everything. You remember these
Yeah.
things?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
you got
remember those.
Oh, you probably don't remember.
No, I do remember those. The
So
writer translator. That
I
was
had to
hilarious.
whip out the rider translator as a sympathy filter after the
Oh.
race. So I was hearing, "Oh man, I'm so sorry. Oh man, I'm so sorry," so many times. I'm like, "Go ahead." I'm just like, "Thanks.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Thank you." They
Yeah.
work great as a
Okay.
sympathy filter.
Yeah, I'm seeing in the chat. They're also known as the mother-in-law device.
Yeah,
Like,
or the annoying wife. That you come
oh,
home and the track's not out, and you got to fix the cabinet she broke, and how do you make the remote work, and the car charger's
oh.
not charging because you got left your
So it's
car
the
you just bought.
anti-nag. It's the anti-nag device.
Yeah, that thing. So that's
Yeah.
the same thing. These things are awesome.
Wow.
They work for
Those are
everything.
great, man.
Sympathy, writer translation, dealing with a wife,
Dude,
all
we
that.
should we should we should package those and sell them as those things.
I can get like 1,000 of these from China for like $2.
Yeah, we'll just label
With a
them.
pair, it'll cost $2.25.
Yeah.
Wow, we're gonna go broke. So
Well,
anyway,
I've got some show and tell myself.
but I'm gonna be bombastic and full of crap.
You know
So
what, man? You gotta
hold
be.
on, let me get loud. I'm getting loud.
Yeah, so for the World Superbike trip, I've got some special stickers to take with us to hand to fans and stuff.
Yeah.
Bob actually says that next year's suit, he's going to put some kind of variation of
Bob, does he have
Bobby.
a ride?
I don't know. That's what he said. Does he? I don't know.
I don't do the ride.
I don't know. I don't know that kind of detail. All right.
No, I'm sure he does. I mean,
And then the other thing I've got something special for World Superbike here. Somehow it ended up shipping to me.
yeah, because he was shipping you the other decals. Our Owen, our awesome decal guy,
Right.
who never watches any stuff, doesn't even know what we're doing.
Yeah, Owen. Owen
mate.
from
Yeah.
504.
No, he doesn't want any business. He's getting out of the business.
Yeah, that's what he says.
I try to get him business. He's like, nah, I just want to take care of the people I've been taking care of.
Yeah.
He said he's studying real estate or something, and he said that he's crammed way too much crap in his head to even remember how to do decals anymore.
Oh man, like the The best part about stuff when we get from this guy is that
It's perfect.
yes,
B,
and
it's
B,
speedy.
it doesn't have some other dude's logo on it, so that's kind of fun.
Yeah. No, I mean, he does a really great job. I hope he keeps doing our stuff forever.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Like, it's bad enough that we both lost a painter at the same time.
Yeah, but I don't know if I'll be around forever because I think
Well,
I'm getting. Look at my hand. Look how big that thing is. I think I'm getting arthritis.
the
Like
miracles of modern medicine.
this one, right? This one's a little bit bigger. Can you tell? What? This one's just a
Wow.
little bigger. Oh, am I being
Wow.
bombastic again?
Oh man, you know
I
I've
think
I've
last
got a lot
time
of
it was apples to apples, and this time bombastic.
bombastic. Yes, yes. So we went to Jersey, and like I said, man, we experienced the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat all in the same weekend. So
Yeah, you know,
yeah,
best laid plans of mice and men, and all that kind of all those analogies, right?
right,
Yeah,
right.
you put a plan together, and the first shot's fired, your plan goes to shit.
Right. You get punched
Yeah,
in the face, and all of a sudden your plan goes to shit. Right.
yeah, you put a one
Right.
round down range, and all of a sudden your plan goes to shit because you know what, the enemy gets a vote, right? At least they say that about
You're right.
war, and it's true about racing too. Like you could say, okay, we're going to go out, we're going to lead this many laps, or you're going to hang out and come up with a plan, and at the end, the other guy gets a vote also. Right. Whether he rides like a moron and checks up on you and kills your drive or whatever the case may be, it happens. And I'm happy that Cameron Beaubier got the win.
I mean, Bobby had pace, right? I mean, he had pace on everybody.
I think we had pace for just about. I mean, from the beginning, we just had the helmet thing in the first round. Was Barber the first round? They all get confused together.
I don't know. Road Atlanta.
He crashed in the wet.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had I think round one was Barber, right? And he had pace there.
Yeah, that's right.
And he still was trying to figure out what this bike needs by then, even though we did a bunch of testing. You just never know. And I learned a lot about Bobby this last year, and we've made some mistakes. Not gigantic ones, but just little setup things that didn't get him the best foot forward sometimes, where he's so animated in his conversations that sometimes you think a little tiny problem is a big problem.
Right.
And she'll make a decent change, and he's not used to it, and he'll go out and he'll go, man, it took me half the race to get used to it. That type of thing.
Well, you guys had to shorten his debrief time, right? Like,
yeah, no, I said you got 15 minutes.
Time limit.
Yeah, you got 15 minutes, all you get. Because anything above and beyond that, we're regurgitating bad stuff.
Okay.
Right, and you got to tell me the bad stuff and the good stuff. You don't just tell bad stuff. Say, how's the bike sell? How's the bike brake? Oh, it's good there, it's good there, it's good there. So then you narrow your focus. You go, okay, we don't want to ruin all the good stuff, but we want to just adjust the bad stuff. And sometimes with him, it just takes a little something, just a little tiny something,
Right.
You don't have to turn the bike upside down. And so, you get caught out sometimes in the moment with a guy that's really like, oh man, it's doing this, it's doing that, things, and then you got to get these guys out, and just stick them.
Oh yeah.
And then try to get through the 15 minutes.
Now, do you allocate some of those to Marshall as well?
Oh, and Marshall is pre-built because he's a robot.
Oh, okay.
And he turns
So
it off.
he hits the mute button.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's got the personality AI thing going on, but it's not quite perfected. Some of his jokes are silly.
Right.
And but it does have a lot of Canadian, algorithm going on. So he's rude as hell. When he needs to be, which is always
rude as hell.
Which is always.
I mean, I took pictures of the wet board in the trailer, right?
Oh yeah, how many days before?
Like OSHA.
One, you cross it off with 0.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can be the most annoying guy on the team.
I can be.
You can be.
Yeah.
Let me give you an example. Where I'm walking back from pit lane after our bike went down. That was the first time or second time.
Oh,
all right, our race is over. I guess I'll just walk back to the truck and think about what I need to do to get ready for World Superbike or whatever it was, right? And
I know what's coming.
You come up and you're like, "Hey, buddy, yeah, sorry about the race, but I just want to tell you that this was the best season ever for me going racing and such an experience. And I'm so happy and excited that I was able to share this."
I was
Something in
appreciative.
those words, appreciative. I go,
I'm just
"What did I
appreciative
tell
of,
you?"
yeah.
I said,
Yeah, you said my timing is
"You have the
shit,
worst
basically.
timing ever." That's what I said. I mean, it's nice to hear that stuff later
I
on.
know. I know.
Your
I
bud's
mean,
still coming back from the crash track, and a
yeah.
season's worth of work went down the toilet in one race.
Yeah. Yeah.
This may not be the best time to be talking
So,
about what a great
so
time you
maybe
had.
so maybe I have a weakness of reading the room. Is that
Yes,
okay?
that's
That's
good.
fair. That's fair.
Yeah, you do have that. You're a 10 on the reading the room wrong level.
Yeah,
It's all still cool though. I didn't
I
do what I was thinking about doing.
okay. Appreciate
I
that.
I just started with the sympathy things. I just took those in there and I walked off.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So
That's
anyway,
actually the truth.
no, you get kind of tired. I mean, we put up a good fight this season, and it came down the last day.
Yeah.
We're 18 points up, and I mean the boys on the team did a really great job, and I want to thank them.
Right.
I mean, who did we start with? I mean, Walker was an animal, driving to all the races and just working as long as it takes at the shop and loading up with a few expletives, and a few expletives unloading.
Well,
But
a few cases of Mountain Dew down and
yeah, and a few bags of M&Ms
M&Ms,
and whatever, hot
gummy
tamales.
bears or whatever.
Yeah, like 20 pounds of sugar every which direction.
I swear, in the semi truck that ride that I took with you guys
Yeah.
to Road America, I
Yeah.
mean, there's no possible way to get any sleep next to that guy because he's like fumbling with plastic bags and shit all fucking night.
Yeah. He's got every 2 seconds he's got to get a sugar.
But he does it.
But
I did that drive to Texas, and I gained a whole new respect for that. I mean, I don't know how you guys.
yeah,
do
it's
that.
a bitch. I would never want to be a long haul trucker. No way in hell. Those guys look so unhealthy when they get out of the truck. You go to the truck stop and they just look like they're sitting in that same chair, even with the 11-hour maximum.
Right.
Sitting there driving for that many hours is just awful to your body. Yeah. So anyway, I mean, Walker bangs it out, and he's always there every minute. And he'll work 7 days a week if you need him to. He'll work 24 hours if you need him to. I mean,
Right.
Incredible stamina, especially for a guy who's almost my age.
Right.
And then you got who else? We have Marshall, who's kind of a robot, but good personality and always. I mean, he was after race 2. We were 8 points back, and Bobby was kind of losing it a little bit. Just really upset. And he said, "Look, man, look, we're only 8 points back. It's not the end yet. It's not the end. You have to go out and win, and then somebody's got to get in front of Bobier. And we still got this." So he still had that positive forward momentum, even though the weekend went to crap all in a couple of hours,
Yeah.
So that it's always been that way. Another guy who you go, "Hey man, we need to redo these setup sheets, and maybe we want to put it, install a new database or something." He's like, "Oh crap, I don't know if I got enough time to do that." And then the next week he's got it done. So he's that kind of guy.
Right.
Head down, gets it done. Then you got who else we have?
Will.
Fernando. Probably one of the smartest guys on the team, and never boasts or brags, and isn't bombastic at all.
No.
He's the opposite of bombastic. He's opposite of me, apparently.
Oh, he's super quiet, low key.
Yeah, he says very few words, and he's not full of shit.
He's funny though.
Yeah, he's funny.
Definitely funny. If you get to know Fernando, he's super quiet, kind of the shy kind of personality. That shyness comes out. It's like he could be the funniest guy in the pit. Camera comes out, and he's like, "So, tires, pressures." I'm like, "What, dude? Like, who are you?"
And then you got Will, of course. I mean, what do you say about Will? Like one of the coolest guys.
Yes.
That you want on a team. He never gets excited. The bike will go end over end, and when the bike got smashed up in race 2, I mean, the thing was totaled. It was a bad one, right? And we had a couple hours to turn around. I mean, the timing couldn't have been worse. we have to get ready for World Superbike. So we have to push a couple, get all of our spares or push them in the crates that we shipped to New Jersey because the things had to get on the plane to JFK because next weekend we'll be racing. So
that's next weekend. We're leaving Monday.
We're leaving Monday. Yeah. So you can imagine the work we had to put in to get that stuff ready. And then we end up with 2 smashed motorcycles. And, so we basically called off a little dinner, that end of the year team dinner we had because we had to get that stuff done. And, the guys just pushed and pushed and pushed. Like, in the past, we would have had guys on the team. They're like, this is my bike. This is what I do. But these guys, man, they all jumped in and got it done between races. Okay, this engine's got to go on that chassis because we had a spare bike ready to go, but it wasn't quite the spec that Bobby was used to. So instead of going out and relearning engine braking and things like that, we transferred an engine, we transferred some fork cartridges, and we transferred the shock. We transferred a few things, puts a number 50 bodywork on it, so it's ready to go. And the guys got it done with plenty of time, and we're out there and ready to rock and roll, looking like we got a brand new motorcycle. So they did a good job with that, and a lot of teams couldn't pull that off. And the only way you can do that isn't by isolating the 2 teams, because we basically have 2 teams, right?
There's no wall.
There's no wall. There's no isolation. There's no data firewall between the 2 sides that we share on the server. Everything is 100% shared. We share information. The riders can share some information too. Sometimes that messes you up because they share bad information, let's say. But for the most part, I think it's a good thing to have both riders and both teams working together. And so that, and then you got Robbie, who was a former racer. So he calls it
racer, bounty hunter,
former fast racer and a good bicyclist. He's doing all. Another guy who's starting to age and he's doing front flips on a bicycle and all kinds of crap. I'm like, wow, mass respect for him. He's another guy that just wants to stay busy. He just works the whole time.
He does whatever Richard says. That's what he says.
Yeah, I like that.
What are you doing? Whatever Richard tells me.
Yeah, no BS, no back talk, no nothing. Just yep. There's been many times where
no back talk. Are you sure about that?
No, not yet.
I'm talking about Ed. Never mind.
Ed, that dude can take some punishment. Right. Like the running jokes about him and the erectile dysfunction and and all that because his initials are ED. His real name's Eric Davis. So we harassed him for 2 years solid. So he's definitely a good bloke when it comes to that. And then you got 1S whose real name is Cody Liebenow. I call him 1S because the only one stripper in his hometown. But that dude, same thing. Just quiet, but got a pretty sharp wit.
He's got the most interesting sense of humor because that guy will say some stuff, and you don't know if whatever he's saying is bullshit.
Yeah, and most of it is.
Most of it's bullshit. Yeah,
most of it is about 90% of it, and then there's about 10% of accuracy.
Yes. Yeah.
Let's say the weirdest stuff. Like, I think it's time to rotate the chains, or
you
want to take it off and flip it around backwards. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like giggling, or whatever, smirk. So anyway, he was awesome to have the last couple of years, and sounds like a going away thing, but it's not. We're still going next year. Then who'd I miss? You got Maurice, of course.
Yes.
That dude, he's
Can't
like...
forget my roommate, Maurice. Also known as Reese.
Yeah, he's the guy that always ends up with the biggest carrots at dinner for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll
know that inside joke.
Yeah, we talked about that inside joke this morning, but, that guy he's something else, man.
And then, of course, there's Sarah, who takes a lot of pictures and gives you some stuff you can actually post and actually looks good, unlike your iPhone images you take every now and then.
Dude, stop. Those are for me. But the videos are good. I'm having a
a really big lens.
Dude, she does. Yeah.
But
I take little videos that, of the guys working in the pits and things, and the comparison of the T-handles. And, Sarah did take a pretty good shot of Marshall doing the Homer Simpson and Bart Simpson thing with me. So that's kind of fun.
Yeah, I thought that was real.
No way.
I think Marshall wishes it was real.
I bet he does. Yeah, he'd probably tell you that. Yeah,
There's always some underlying truth behind every joke.
he like has a little. He like
You know,
has a little sting on his humor, a little bit.
he's not bombastic like me, so
No,
he won't
no,
tell you
no.
up front what you're thinking, what he's thinking.
Right,
And he's
right.
probably not as bombastic, full of shit as I am.
So what over the weekend, I also Jake had a good weekend in
I've been
qualifying.
called a lot of things, but I've never been called bombastic. So I'm kind of living there right now.
Okay.
Me and Trump were like,
Maybe we could get a basket of apples, and you could eat the apples while thinking about it.
yeah, I can eat basket of apples while I'm being bombastic. Yeah, I guess John's
A
maybe.
bomb,
Oh,
a
you're blanking out
bombastic.
again.
Do what?
Oh, it's like a little jittery on the connection. I don't know why. I think it's my FiOS, man.
I think
I
so.
gotta get a
Dude.
different. It's
You
or it's
got
my
Taco
computer. I
Bell
don't know.
internet tonight, dude.
I have gigabit FiOS. I need to get like what 10 gigabit FiOS? What's going on
I
here?
don't know. I've
I
got
don't know.
two, and it seems
It's probably the
okay.
Chinese connecting into my server.
You're right. Yeah. Well, because you wouldn't
Anyway,
sell those guys your parts,
yeah. So, all right, let me wipe off some more tears. Let's talk about racing or something.
Yeah, yeah. Well, like I was saying, Gagne, he had a good weekend. He threw down some times. He was quick, and then for whatever reason in the race, it just didn't come to fruition.
Well, there's only one reason. It's not because he doesn't know how to ride a
Yes,
motorcycle.
he didn't
His
forget how to
arm
ride. His arm's not working
has no
right.
strength. So I don't know what happened. I mean, that's the frustrating part. Isn't like we can stick a clicker in his arm and fix it.
Right.
I mean, on race 3, I said, "Look, man," I said, all we need to do, Jake, is just get a good start, tuck in behind Bobby, and hold up those guys for a few laps so Bobby can split." And he was only able to for a few corners, basically.
Hmm.
I think he didn't get past lap 1. And it's just because his arm got tired by the end of the weekend. It's really kind of
Yeah.
sad, So I like the dude. He's like one of the best guys to work with. I mean, he's worked with our team for 6 years now.
Yeah.
6 years, And
You know,
so
the word that Bobby told me to describe Jake is stoic. I'd say that fits. He doesn't complain about anything. He does no negative comments about anything ever or anybody else. He just goes to work and then bails, and doesn't complain about his arm.
I watched this movie called Stoic on the way back. It was one of the worst action movies I've ever seen. It was awful. A British thing.
It is British.
Oh, it was awful. It was some British gang, and it's so
Wow.
bad I can't even describe it. You can look it up. It was on.
Yeah. I'm not looking it up. I'm going to take your word for it.
Prime Video. Awful. Terrible.
All right.
So stupid. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, so there's a lot of questions in the comments about Bob crash and why did Bobby have to apologize?
Why Bobby crashed in race 2? Well, we know Heron rides a little bit wild, right?
Yeah.
We know he rides a little bit dirty. I mean, he puts it in places. You give him a little bit of space, he'll shove it in there and all that.
Right.
Heron's not much of a crasher, so it isn't like he's trying to crash into people, but he seems to get into contact with people quite often for whatever reason, like SDK and him, Bobby and him. Various times, you go to track days, knock down a guy at track day, all that kind of stuff, right? So
Oleg.
He rides tight, he rides close, he rides a little bit wild, and he didn't have the pace all weekend, so he's just riding over his head pretty much, as much as he can. I was watching him because what I do is I watch the practices and races and stuff like that after the day is up, so I can get a little bit of time understanding what how the other guys are handling, what they're doing. He was like having a hard time putting a couple laps together. He wouldn't hit the apexes. He'd miss the apex, and then he wouldn't use the curbing on the exit, maybe because the Ducati's a little bit wild over the curbing, where Bobby would use the curbing and then some. Probably why he crashed. Like he went over the top of the curbing, down the other side, like early on, and crashed. So I was pretty satisfied with the way our bike was working versus the other guys. I know they have a little bit more power, which we're going to keep working on over the winter. And we didn't have a lot of time this year because we were doing more chassis acceleration stuff. We're trying to finish up our new chassis balance and dynamics I think we'll spend a little more time on engine stuff this winter and see if we can get that last 3 miles an hour, 2 miles an hour out of the picture that why they can't pass us on the brakes. Yeah, if you haven't noticed, I'm sure you didn't notice. I'd say 99% of the passes were done at the end of the straightaway on the brakes.
Oh yeah.
Like, how often does Bobby getting passed in the corners?
Not at all.
Yeah, pretty rare, right? He'd have to make a mistake. Somebody gets underneath him, runs wide.
Well, you know, the other thing is, you know, you have me being spotter on Friday, and you know, I watch everybody in Superbike because I'm trying to make notes to help our guys, you know, and watching Heron's bike, you know, the thing looks good going into the corner, and off the corner it looks good, but in the middle it looks like it's really difficult to ride. It looks like it's tying itself up into knots mid corner.
Well, I saw he was complaining a lot on camera to his crew chief, Simone, a little bit bombastic in his in his demeanor.
I feel like we're gonna start doing the Pee Wee Herman thing, you know, like bombastic, you know, like the word of the day.
You are, but what am I? Type thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't even know who Pee Wee Herman is.
Right.
Dude, I watched that at the drive-in. A drive-in.
I said that, and I'm like, shit. Does that just reveal that I'm turning 50 this year?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. If you know Pee Wee Herman, you were probably in their 50s.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway, so watching him ride, and I said, yeah, we got him pretty much covered. But he's. I told Bobby, you just got to stay away from him. I know you don't like the guy. You're always having issues with him. You got to get out of there. You can't be racing with him, right? Unfortunately, he kept getting good starts. He'd be in the mix, and every time he got out front, he would slow the pace.
Right.
He slowed the pace. The other guys would catch up. So the worry there is, hey, if SDK gets in there and he becomes a spoiler, you know, now you have a 4-man race, and the group. So we give the group to Bobby all race long, basically until the group separates. But a group of 5, a group of 3, a group. So you kind of understands what's behind it, like how hard to have to push.
Right.
And so, and race 1 was easy. He just kind of got in there, and then once he got the break between from lap 10 on, that's when our bike really shines, right? When the tires get old. So
and Bob has this like extra gear that he makes at the midway point.
He does the same.
Oh, well, he just is able to maintain then.
Yeah, he's able to maintain. Our bike can maintain the pace from lap 3 on, lap 4 on. Like sometimes he'll do, let's say he did 20.9 on lap 5, he'll do a 20.9 on lap 18.
Right.
You know, and so you know, so we kind of understood where Heron's game was going to be. He's got out front, slow the pace, and that's what he did. Yeah. And so race 2, he was becoming very, very hard to pass. So what he was doing, I think, like I wasn't in his head, so I don't know for sure, but I think he was parking it a bit in the corner and accelerating hard when he gets to the apex. So that way Bobby couldn't get a run on him, or was making it hard to make the pass. So Bobby made the pass a couple times, and I think it was 5 or wherever he was in, you know, or maybe somewhere else. He would. It was one of the change directions, maybe it was 4, but he would make a pass, and then Heron started blocking that pass.
Right.
And so, and it wasn't a corner where he crashed. It wasn't a corner where you could make a pass. You know, it was just that you could get a good run into 5. I think he crashed in 4, right?
I think so.
Sure, yeah, before the rise, and so it was. I think Heron was just blocking, which he was doing pretty much all weekend. You know, and Bobby got sucked into it because his pace was faster.
Right.
Your tire fell down. You know, I don't think Heron was intentionally trying to crash him.
No.
But Bobby was really pissed off. He said, "He fucking brake checked me." That's what he said. He said his exact words. And I think he was rolling off. He was playing the game of stop the guy in the apex, which he's a smart rider. He's been riding for a long time, and he knows how to foil somebody's game, right? So he's doing everything he can to stay up front. And, you know, Greg White and all those guys said he becomes very wide, very big, leg out, all that stuff when he gets out front. But every time he got out front, he slowed the pace, and everybody started coming.
Yeah, I mean, if he had the pace to get away, he would have, you know.
He didn't have the pace to get away all week. He did not. You know, so anyway. And so that got Bobier up in there too. So it was a 3-way at that time.
Yeah.
And Yeah, so it kind of messed up our plan a little bit, and of course Bobby crashing really messed up our plan. We still had a shot for race 2, and then he went and
Race 3.
crashed out the lead. So
Right.
I don't know if he's still thinking about race 1 or the pressure
I think
on
he told me I think he told me something about like he was either for race 3 he was either going to come home with the championship or come home in the truck.
Well, he came home in the truck.
In the truck, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, all he had to do was win. That's all he can do.
Right.
But if there wasn't somebody in front of Bobby, we weren't going to win it.
Right.
Because first to second was 5 points. We were down 8. Right. We were up 18, and then we're down 8. So
yeah, I think in Moto America Superbike, the worst guy to have behind you when you're trying to battle for the championship is cue the Jaws music, Bobier right behind you, fighting you for the championship. That's
yeah, I mean, yes, no, because at Mid Ohio he was there the whole time, and then he couldn't do it. So there's been a few places. Same thing at Road America. He ran off in turn 1. So there's you can put pressure. You can put pressure on guys in this sport, especially since the tires are so iffy.
Yeah.
It's not like you can make up time on the front because the front's not great. You're kind of compromising on the tires because the soft tires don't work and the super hard tires don't work on our bike anyway. So you're kind of stuck with this intermediate tire that doesn't do everything perfectly.
Right.
So I'm kind of excited about what we get for tires next year. Hopefully they're better and we can actually closer to the Pirelli front.
Yeah.
And we'd be able to push like the Pirellis.
Yeah.
And I think our bike will perform even better then. Of course, everybody else's bikes will perform better also.
So I don't know. I'm assuming there's going to be some kind of Motor America sanction about the sign.
No, they didn't.
No? Okay. Okay.
No.
Well, I mean, a lot of big deal has been made about it. People are like, "Oh, he's making threats and things like that." It's like, dude,
what are they going to sanction?
What?
Well, they going to take away his victory?
No, I think they're going to fine him or something, right? Like that's.
I don't know.
But I was like, man, these guys are warriors, and you can't expect them to be robots. And they're a bunch of red misting having, punch holes through walls kind of thing.
After you crash, the adrenaline's going down.
Right.
All kinds of things are going to come out. All kinds of gestures are going to come out. He wasn't going to act on it.
Right.
For what? I mean,
the CFE guy said, no, he wasn't doing that. He was just saying, you shut the gas off.
Yeah. He said, shut it off. There's oil on the ground.
Yeah, you shut the gas off.
Yeah, whatever.
Right. Yeah.
That's getting right back into all this woke liberal crap.
Yeah.
If they're going to say,
let them be racers, man.
I mean, that's why I never protested Heron for close riding and hitting Bobby at Mid Ohio. I never even thought about it because I like close racing. Right? He bumps into Bobby, pushes him off the racetrack, right? Pushes himself off the racetrack, comes back and crashes into another guy that was just riding along, having a good time, and knocks both of them down, right?
Right.
So if it was MotoGP or World Superbike, as a matter of fact, the FIM guys came over and they said, hey, we need to talk to Bobby about his little arm gesture. I said, okay. I said, but if you guys are thinking about sanctions or fines, I go, why don't you start with what happened in Mid Ohio, if that's the way you guys are going to play it? Like, how about why didn't you sanction Heron for pushing one guy off the racetrack, making physical contact, and then afterwards going out? I mean, he put a dent in our muffler. That's how hard the hit was.
Scuffed up Bob's leathers with the front tire.
Yeah, it was a hard hit, and he was the guy in the back. So if it was MotoGP or World Superbike, he would have got sanctioned. He's going for a pass that doesn't work, right? At speed with the wrong vector, and was going to end ugly, and it did.
Yeah.
So that cost us points. That should have been a win.
Right.
At least a second, right?
I mean, people, I see it mentioned in the comments, but people were acting like that hand gesture was just as bad. They were acting like that the same way they reacted to Aaron Yates, like drop kicking a dude.
Drop kicking someone? Oh, come on, you're over it. I mean, how many times you see the middle finger out there being given back and forth?
Right.
So come on. And neck this to you. What does that mean? Does that mean I'm going to go out and slap your throat? It could mean I'm going to get you next week. Next year, you're dead. I'm going to beat you in every race.
Right.
Mean anything.
Like I said, you ran out of gas.
Yeah, shut it down. Your music's too loud. Cut it. Cut the music off.
Right.
I mean, come on, whatever.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
then there was quite the big deal about by some fans on the internet about us skipping the award ceremony thing. And I was like, well, we were kind of busy putting together motorcycles.
I don't know. They're like, bring the bike and the rider,
They were destroyed.
bring the bike and the rider to the podium. I'm like, the bike's destroyed. We're gonna wheel over this bike with a fairing and stuff hanging
Yeah.
2 minutes after the race when we just
Right.
got it back in the truck. Are you kidding me?
Right.
And Bobby was already off to his little hiatus. He's going to go up the mountains and chop wood for a week.
Yeah, I think he shut his phone off and went on walkabout.
No, he took the Rocky Sylvester Stallone vacation. He's up in the tundra, chopping wood,
Siberia.
carrying logs, and then chopping it all down right before the World Superbike.
I heard he's punching meat. No,
Something.
that's what they do in Stockton. I hear. They just punch
I
meat.
haven't even talked to him since the race. I'll probably see him over at Estoril. Hopefully he comes because the bike show isn't there. We'll have to find somebody else to ride it, I guess.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, so what you're saying is I should bring my leathers in my suit?
Yeah.
My suitcase? No.
Hold on.
Yeah. There we go. I was waiting
Go
on
ahead.
that.
What'd you say? Yeah. Awesome.
No, I think Bob switched back on. I think he had to take a couple of days and cry to himself. But I will say this: I did talk to Bobby today, and I will tell you this: he said to tell you that he has not slipped in his training or anything. He hasn't drowned his sorrows in donuts. So
Better not, man. We're putting a lot of effort in this World Superbike gig. He better get his ass in gear.
Right.
That's all he needs to do.
Right. Yeah.
And, the thing is, riders are really good at forgetting about what happened an hour ago.
Yeah.
Because if you weren't, I mean, look at Bobier, right? He has 2 crashes in the same day, right? Yeah. And he goes out and wins one and wins the championship.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, basically that weekend, I mean, the fans couldn't ask for any more fun than that.
Exactly.
And I think through the season we proved that a 10-year-old Yamaha R9 is still capable of beating your latest, greatest BMW and Ducati.
Yeah.
Pretty regularly and fighting for the championship all the way till the very last 2 races. And the only reason the Yamaha didn't win that championship is because we threw it away.
There you go.
That's it.
I mean, it's just proof. Like the fastest guy.
That bike, that crew did a really great job. That bike should have won the championship, is what it is. No knock on Bobby. We just made a mistake and, was riding too tight. I think some of the pressure in that riding, too, was Bobier was right there.
Oh, 100%.
So if he didn't put the pressure on Heron or try to get around him, Bobier was gonna pounce because he's really good at that. He can just stick it in there, just take a little risk, stick it in there in some location where he thinks everybody's slow because Heron's slowing for pace on the last lap, and then you end up in third. So a lot of that was the calculation. I'm pretty sure through Bobby's head, and then it just was a collision and boom, done.
Yeah, I'm being asked like, what was the strategy for the weekend? Going into that weekend. I mean, I thought the strategy was to kick everybody's ass.
No, I think the strategy was win the first one,
right,
and play it a little bit safe in the next 2 because we're 18 points up.
Right,
We would have had to finish behind Bobier twice. Actually, we could have finished behind Bobier 3 times and still won the championship.
Right.
So the strategy was just get as many points we can first day and then clean up the second day. That was the strategy.
Yeah. Well, we did the first day dialed, right?
Yeah.
Qualifying dialed.
Yeah, he was out 4 seconds minimum. Could have made that 6 if we had kept pushing.
Right.
So I knew that everybody else was going to go home and sleep on it because usually you get a little bit of data on race 1. So we knew it was going to be a little bit tighter on the second day, on Sunday. But the strategy was come home with 2 full regular good motorcycles, put them in the crates and fly out to Portugal.
So Estoril, right?
Yeah.
Estoril and then Jerez.
Yeah, Spain after that. They're back to back.
Yeah,
but, the amount of work we put in to get ready for that, basically to do CODA New Jersey, which was a week later, right? And then a week later after that, Estoril, and then the very following weekend, Jerez.
So you shipped the crates to Jersey with stuff in them.
Yeah.
And then those crates, they wheeled around in that gravel they had us in, not too bad.
Yeah, I mean, we got some good dollies, So yeah, I mean, they were heavy. Just shipping the crates. It was, I think one crate was over 1,000 pounds, and the other one was like 900 pounds before we put the bikes in. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, the crates were full. We brought extra body work. Last time we went, it was just one round. I poured them out, right?
Right.
And Jake did a pretty good job. Like I've talked about this before, where the bike just wasn't really. It was set up for Dunlops, and we didn't take full advantage of the front tire. I think that we'll be doing a little better where the front tire goes, but you know what? I have no illusions going this thing. I'm not going to be like what people said last time in 22. Oh, you guys are going to get top 5. No,
you guys are going to smash everybody.
No, all these guys are switched on. They're all super fast. They all know their bikes. They've been riding them all season on Pirellis. They know every inch of that racetrack. And Jerez is even harder because that's everybody's home track. Everybody tests there.
Right.
So no illusion. You got to go to these guys' backyard and just smash everyone, or I'd just be happy not to be last. But we'll get a chance to mix it up with the boys from Yamaha Italy, and maybe learn some stuff.
Right.
They're pretty smart, And
you think they're going to come over and eyeball the bike like they did last time?
I'm sure they'll have a peek.
Yeah.
And I had a good meeting with those guys last time when we were there for EICMA show.
Right.
Went over to the race shop and chatted with them for a bit. A good bunch of guys, and so like to see what they have going on with their bikes and maybe learn some things, because I'm bombastic.
And we'll bring apples.
Yeah, apples to apples. But anyway, so that was the gist of the weekend, and gearing up for World Superbike. That's about it.
Yeah, the bikes left Monday, right?
Yeah, so. Monday afternoon. Yeah, we packed everything. We were there till 9 or something, fixing up the bikes and moving some engines around to get ready for the World Superbike, and packing up all of our spares. And
right.
Monday morning we showed up and took the tops off the crates and started putting the bikes in there, bikes and stuff.
Well, Monday morning, I flew back home, and I know you saw that video that Joseph took, right? So we go through airport security, and somehow I go through, and it's like dinging off, and there's like, I'm alerting everywhere all over my body. like I must be packing heat everywhere, including my junk, right? So of course Joseph's like, what? Like he just notices that I get caught, and starts filming, and
it's all about you.
Yeah, they always get my bag too. They always get my bag. Like
I took a bag full of stuff. We're talking about wiring and this and that, and 4 laptops.
Did they open it up?
Chargers, and nope, sailed right through.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it has
GoPros always trigger it.
GoPros, yeah. And those 2 laptops, sometimes they come on because you have some laptops that don't. When you shut them, that you open them, they turn on. So if you carry your bag rolling around, maybe the top pops open slightly, and then they'll turn on right as they're going through the machine.
Yeah.
And then that almost triggers them too, kicks them out.
Right.
Yeah.
So what do you think about so we're going. But what do you think about the other stuff that you've been involved in this season? You were involved in the development of a new motorcycle.
Oh, the R9, yeah. From day one, really. Yeah. We did quite a bit of dyno stuff with it, and then we built the spec heads for it, the USA version. Because in Europe, our rules are a little bit different. In Europe, you can't do a valve job. The head has to be the head. And so we worked with Yamaha and Motor America to have a certain spec that everyone has to use, and so we went through a little bit of so we spent quite a bit of time on that R9, and it took away some of the time we had for R1 engine development, let's say. So we had Jordan from the Strack team over at our shop, and he built the first couple. Actually, it was Jordan and what do you call it, Ed.
Yeah, Sullivan before he moved over to that Superbike team.
Before he moved over to SBU. Yeah, so when Ed was the team, they built him and Jordan came down and built a couple of bikes for the first test, and so they were one of the first guys to test with it. And then so we did all the engine prep here at our shop for them. So it was basically a spec head, spec cam, spec engine, and Altus got the same treatment with their engines. And I can't remember who else we did, but anyway, so we did that, and then I think it was fairly successful. We developed just for those guys, and we did that in cooperation with their suspension guy, and the linkage was available to everyone, and so I think they had a good time between the clamps, the links, and all the stuff we developed for the bike, which was good. Anyway, anybody can buy that stuff, I guess, except for the Motor America spec camshafts and pistons, which are only available to guys who are full-time racing Motor America. But I think Matt did a really good job, and I heard Peter made some little mini announcement.
A mini announcement? That was a big announcement. I mean, he said on.
Honestly, I think Peter's just thinking out loud.
Yeah.
Because he chatted with me a couple of times about what do you think about this, what do you think about that, and I think I'm sure Matt is pretty happy to go back to Superbike, but gonna have to see how the logistics works out. Are we going to prepare the bikes? Is he going to buy a bike from Europe? Is he even going to be a Yamaha? I don't know. I think it is. But
there's lots of rumors going around, right?
Yeah, but that's what these are for.
Yeah.
They're for rumors. There's lots of rumors. I mean, Bobier is going to BMW. Not BMW. I mean, Ducati.
Yeah, Bobier is going to Ducati.
Yeah, I don't know which team. I don't even know.
I heard Strack's going to Ducati.
We might be going to Ducati.
Oh, I heard we were going to Honda.
We're all going to go to Ducati.
I heard we're going to Honda. That's what I heard.
We're going to KTM.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that would make Joseph happy.
Yeah, we're going to ride one of those big KTM.
We're going to go dirt bike racing?
No, we're just going to race that and road racing.
Oh.
We're going to really challenge ourselves.
Oh.
Because the R1 is not challenging enough. You can win with the R1. That's easy to win with the R1. Let's go get a KTM and race that instead. Like a Supermoto or something.
Yeah.
Make it a Superbike.
I heard you're gonna go bagger racing. That's what's gonna.
We're gonna race that, and we take the bags off, racing Superbike. We're gonna get
There you go.
Special allocation for Harley Davidsons.
Right. Yeah.
That should be good.
There's a lot of rumors, right? I mean, Vandermark guy is supposed to come to Race America.
He wants to. I know he's shopping around. He sent us some info, or his manager did.
Okay.
And I mean, so I don't know. That's all Yamaha's thing. Like I have nothing to announce other than what's already been heard.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was asked. One of the nights we were at a restaurant, and Brian Van asked me, what's going on next season. I'm like, I don't know. He's like, well, I heard this. I'm like, well, I heard that too, but not from anyone on that table.
What do you hear?
Oh, he was hearing the same stuff we were just saying, like such and such.
Who's going to what?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I don't know. I mean, I like Cameron Bobier a lot. I think he's one of the cleaner racers, and he has a good work ethic and good family and all that stuff. And you never see him doing the neck thing to anyone or giving anyone arthritis. Like he doesn't do the arthritis thing very much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I see in the chat, is Vincent Haskovic making a comeback? I'm like,
wow, that's a name from the past, isn't it?
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
Joel RN.
I still feel bad for him. I really liked him.
Me too.
I worked with him, and he was one of the riders I really liked.
Yeah.
He didn't have the most talent, but he worked hard.
Yes. I will never forget his podium speech when he won the race,
It was like an hour long.
He's like, we fucking did it, man.
You mean like when he went 19 something at Big Willow on our bike?
Dude, yeah.
I went 19s, man. 19s was such a big deal. That dude was, he was bombastic. But he wasn't full of shit.
I haven't heard or seen that guy in years,
Yeah, I don't know, man. When you're a paraplegic like that, who knows how health will treat you. Not everyone's Wayne Rainey, you know.
So I see in the chat, Chili is in the chat.
Okay.
And he says the rumor is that he's the fire extinguisher guy at Jerez.
Maybe there's this. I don't know if there's enough room for you, Dustin, and me in the same pit box. You see how small those pit boxes are? There's barely enough time to change your mind.
I'm sure Chili's gonna have a lot of fun with that. So
Yeah.
I'm sure you're gonna get a lot of put me in, coach stuff from Chili, knowing him, right? So I'm sure you'll find something for him to do, like out of the pit box somewhere.
Yeah, he can be in charge of our network cables. Him and Marshall
You know
work together.
Well, that's one way to let him right off the trip.
Yeah, he was there to give us assistance on our networking.
Yeah.
Yeah, so same with Marshall.
Sounds great.
Yeah. Any other questions?
3 Mr. Cleans in 1 pit box is what I'm hearing. Let's see. Yeah. All right, so let me go to the chat here and let's see here. Oh yeah. More Attack Honda HRC rumors and MV Agusa, you forgot that one. What do you think? What do you think about some of them super sport guys moving up? Obviously, we just talked about Scholz's announcement, but you know, PJ's joining the fold too.
I think it's going to be a pretty interesting year next year with Superbikes.
Yeah,
because if I can see, I don't know, but I can see ADR running a season with Flow for Law, right?
Right.
Because that kid was pretty happy with that bike.
Yeah, that kid.
I know that SBU's trying to put something together with a pretty decent rider.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe the second year they'll have a little better luck than they did this year. And we're there for them to help them out with engines or whatever. And then also the wrench guy, I think, is coming back, possibly.
I heard that too.
So that's rumor around the paddock. I know they were asking us a little bit about some stuff, you know, and I don't know where he's going to get bikes and all that kind of things, you know, because a lot of stuff has to be ordered pretty far in advance, like electronics.
Yeah,
3-4 months. You're going to be able to get it on Pirelli and all that stuff. I think it's 3 months. So now's the time to get moving on it.
right.
Unless they've had used stuff out there floating around from old teams that have gone belly up, which that's also possible too. But that stuff lasted forever. The Pirelli ECUs. I mean, some of the stuff we've had have been from 2018.
2018, yeah, which is firmware updates, right?
Yeah, it's firmware updates. As long as it doesn't catch on fire, you're good. You know, things keep going and going and going. And so who else? I mean, you got the Orange Cat guys going to put in 2 BMW Superbikes.
That's what I hear.
I mean, if they're already rolling around, it just takes forks and brakes and a few other goodies, and you're got yourself a Superbike, right?
Pretty much, yeah. And then you know the Honda guys probably be back with that.
Yeah, I think they'll be back. I don't know who their riders are going to be. I'm sure Gilliam's going to be one of them. I imagine JD Beach did a good job, right? You know, his bike was fast. He did a good job. Apples to apples, you know. And so he was. I don't know if he'll race Superbike or if he'll race. Well, I guess there is no super stock, right? So there's just Superbike Cup. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Superbike Cup. It's no more stock 1,000.
Yeah, which is a good thing because I think it helps some of those guys push forward and build Superbikes, you know, even if it's takeoff stuff. And then you got Track possibly getting into Superbike, I guess, with Matt. I mean, I think they're trying to make that happen. And
it's going to make it harder for those club guys to qualify by doing it that way. But you know, like I said, I talked to Wayne like a couple weeks ago during my track day at Laguna, and Wayne's like, "Dude, this is a professional. This is the American professional like premier series."
Yeah. Then you got Ray Hall and DJ.
Yep.
I don't know where Bobier is going. You got Bobier on the Ducati. I don't know if it's going to be Warhorse or another Ray Hall bike or something out of left field. I have no idea. You know, I hear Heron's out. And hold on. Yeah, that's what I hear. So
let me get the rumors. Let me get the rumor things.
This guy going right here. Okay, I'm feeling good now. Yeah, so that's over. And I don't know. It's going to be a lot of bikes.
Right.
I talked to Chuck Axel on the way out on Sunday. He was walking by and chatted with him for a minute.
Yeah.
And he seemed pretty excited about the direction of Superbike. And we talked about Superstock leaving. I said, well, what's it going to eliminate? It's going to eliminate some of the guys that are on their bucket list. They can't do any of the other classes like Super Sport, stuff like that. So they just do Superbike or Superstock.
Right.
And they're whatever they can qualify for the pack on that. So it's going to eliminate those guys. And there's a place for those guys. It's called regional racing,
Yeah.
Club races, regional races. You don't have to do your bucket list at the most prestigious professional series. And honestly,
take your shot though. If you want to take your shot, take your shot.
Yeah, but you just got to qualify. You got to be in there and be able to do it. And honestly, I think they're going to eventually have some kind of cutoff at 22 or 24 rod bikes. And I bet that would be the thing because they're looking for it's like World Superbike and MotoGP. They're looking for 22 to 24 bikes that are properly prepped.
Right.
And they're thinking with Top Rack gone and World Superbike that this might be the most prestigious Superbike series in the world. Because a lot of guys are going to lose interest in World Superbike, which I hope it doesn't happen because that's kind of the pinnacle.
Right.
But at one point, AMA Superbike was the pinnacle. It was with the Dunlop and the Boströms and the Hacking and all those guys. Mladen, you go through the whole list.
Right.
The Cordiers and the whatever. They had a bunch of Canadians and
Anthony Gobert.
What's that? Gobert.
Anthony Gobert. Yeah.
Yeah, all that. Those guys got paid really good money, and Superbike was the most prestigious. You don't even really think about World Superbike back then.
Is there Trevor Watson? He's that Honda racer guy, privateer. He wants to know if there's any World Superbike teams running attack parts on them that you know of.
Not Yamaha. No, we make our own stuff. They make their own stuff, which I think they're a little unhappy with that. But this is
they want you to run their stuff too?
Well, they're the center of development, and they are with electronics and chassis and things like that. I put myself into their shoes, and I go, why is that team not using our swing arm? Why is that team not using our triple clamps and things like that? We can give them a lot more information, So we had a little bit of that conversation when I was there last. But we're also a shop that produces these kinds of parts and develop race bikes too. But they're the center of the development world when it comes to Yamahas. I mean, that's one building you have World Superbike, another building you have MotoGP. So I totally get where they're coming from.
Right.
So, but they're also super duper busy. They support a bunch of bikes in the paddock, including the R9 project. And those guys were flat out last winter when I was there. With the R9 project, flat out, and they did most of the development on the R9, the camshafts, the pistons, all that stuff. So really, by the time we got it, it was just a ready to go kit you had to assemble, minus the couple of tweaks we needed to do for our series and our fuel.
Okay.
So that's where we came in for Yamaha and kind of helped out with the last few tweaks to get it going for this fuel. And
does
rules within our series.
The other question from Trevor is about whether or not the World Superbike gas makes more power than the VP stuff we're running here in the States.
Good question. Yeah, we haven't even ran it.
Okay.
I don't know.
Guess we'll let you know then.
Yeah, they have a special fuel, which is renewable.
Okay.
It has to be a certain percentage renewable because it's the green thing they got going on in Europe. They're way over the top of the green junk. And
renewable gas.
Yeah, they have to be a certain percentage renewable. So, they said you can run the same compression, taking their word for it. They said you can run more compression than we're currently running because our fuel could never take what they had.
Right.
And so we're going there with something similar to what we ran in 22 as far as compression ratios go. And that 22 fuel was fine. We ran ETS, not ELF at the time. But we're running the ELF, same as the world guys, because there's a specific fuel renewable you have to use. And it's not a spec fuel, but, like Shell makes a fuel and ELF makes a fuel. Yamaha uses ELF. And then you have to run a flow meter. So the flow meter measures how much gas you're using, and it outputs it on the CAN bus, which the guys can see in in course control, they can see how much fuel you're using around the racetrack. So you've got a little bit of telemetry going on. And
Right.
that's how they can regulate the bikes.
Okay.
So they'll say, they'll tell the Ducati team, you guys are too fast, so you guys are going to get, this much less fuel per hour. So that means they can't open the throttle as much in certain areas of the racetrack, let's say, to be able to regulate the fuel. So now you're being clipped not by a certain other balancing rule, being clipped by how much energy you can burn.
Right. Right.
So really smart.
Wasn't that Ducati guy on the internet? There was like a story where he didn't like that flow rule that they had.
They talk about the flow meter being inaccurate, off 5% or something like that.
Right.
There's a company in Germany that makes the flow meter. We got one. Yeah,
Right.
and we mounted it, and we actually tested it at Motor America, which is weird because a lot of guys think that it's like a regulator. Like, it's only going to give you this much flow, but no, it's not a device which controls the flow. It's a device that measures the flow.
Mm. So
the device is all dialed in for the specific gravity of the fuel, for the temperature, and all those kinds of things. So if the fuel temperature changes, it'll still measure out how much fuel is going through there, like by weight. So it gives you a fuel flow number by weight, not by, let's say, volume. Because the energy is in the mass, right? So I'm not being bombastic. I'm telling the truth.
Yeah, like you're doing your usual, like you're saying technical stuff, and I'm like, yep.
You want some of these?
No. I'm actually just trying to absorb what you're saying.
There's an understanding there, and Marshall and I are going to meet on tomorrow and look at some of the data we got from. I mean, it's not apples to apples, as your guy likes to say, because we tested it with VP, and the meter's not calibrated for that VP. It's lighter than the World Superbike fuel. So the Lingra, which makes the meter, they went and they calibrated for the ELF we ordered, and unfortunately, the ELF guys, there wasn't enough time to ship us anything to the U.S., so we never got on the dyno with it. It took a while to get the meter and all that kind of stuff. It just takes forever.
So, Water on Fire wants to know your opinion on the BMW lap of Coda by Top Rack.
Yeah, he was on Pirelli's. I think we
talked.
He did did we talk about this? Yeah, we talked about this, right? He did I think Jake did a 7.4, right?
Yeah.
And Bobby did a 7 flat.
Right.
Jake was second, Bobby was first. I guarantee if you put Pirelli's on Bobier's bike, he would have gone almost a 6 flat. You'd gone a low 6 without a doubt. I mean, I'm not bagging on Dunlop. That's our series tire. They make a fine tire. But the Pirelli front is that much better in the braking zone. And with a guy like Top Rack, who's a world champion, nothing taken away from him, right? But it wasn't like he made some magic. That the Pirellis will do that lap time. I think if you had been on his bike, you probably would have gone 5s, maybe 4s.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Top Rack's an alien, dude.
I mean, what were the MotoGP guys doing? 2s?
I think so.
2s, 3s.
That sounds right.
I didn't pay much attention the last time they were there.
Yeah.
But I guarantee the lap times would be much faster than that, because we could do those lap times with our bike on those tires, because that's what the difference is in the rubber. Just because the front gives you that much more feel and that much more grip on the brakes, especially a track where you're using a lot of braking. So SCX rear with that even SC1 front, not even a special front,
right?
You're going to do those lap times. If you're not,
this guy. Okay, so Joel wants to know.
Top Rack was 6.7.
Yeah, he went like 06 something.
Yeah, 6.7. I think it was 6.79 maybe. Right. So that's like a little over 0.2 faster than Bobier did.
Right.
Tires are worth all of that.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm not surprised. I think that's an honest number.
Okay.
And that was an Alpha bike. It wasn't his Superbike, but it was probably decent.
Well, Alpha bikes, right?
Yeah.
If World Superbike were to come back, what track would they come back to? What track should be used? The guy's listing Watkins Glen, Coda, Mid Ohio, or Barber.
Isn't Watkins Glen like an airport?
I don't know.
Is that Watkins Glen, or am I thinking somewhere else?
I
What was the other one? Coda?
Yeah, Coda.
Coda's a no-brainer, but I think they don't like to go the same tracks as MotoGP, but they do anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I still think Laguna. I mean,
Laguna needs a little bit more runoff space, I think, for to meet the FIM regs now.
right.
Which, if they were willing to do it, that'd be pretty fun. It'd be cool.
Or Road America, even Road America
That'd
World
be
Series.
awesome.
Yeah,
I think that place is FIM spec.
yeah.
I think it's pretty safe. I think Road America, man, how fast will those guys go? I'll be curious.
Oh man. Oh, 07s
Yeah,
on the
probably.
Pirellis,
Yeah, probably.
right?
I wouldn't doubt
Yeah.
it. Those
Yeah.
guys open the throttle at 60 degrees. I mean, I've seen the
Oh,
data.
dude. Yeah,
So that's one thing that I think that Bobby has to really, really learn, and which he's decent at. Braking leaned over and opening throttle leaned over, and he's actually a little bit more. He is. It's not a little bit. He's more aggressive than Jake is in opening the gas. So
Okay.
I think he might surprise us, or we might end up with 2 crates full of nuts and bolts.
to piles.
Nuts and bolts, just
You
broken.
know, we could sell that, right? We could just sell
Well,
boxes.
the problem is you have to come back with everything you took. Otherwise, you're going to get taxed on it.
Right.
That's the way the shipping stuff works. So they call it a carnet, which is like a visa for the equipment.
Yeah.
So you have to come back with it has to weigh the same at the very least, even if it's all busted up.
Okay.
So anything shipped there has to come back.
So you go
Yeah.
out there, make sure he didn't lose anything.
So we were thinking, anybody listening, if we put some like heavy crap in there, and then we threw it away when we were there, like lead bars or something, we bring back stuff we need from Yamaha Europe. What do you think?
It sounds like a good idea to me.
Skip the tariff.
Count me in, dude. Like,
Skip the tariff. Too late. It didn't work. We didn't have time.
damn. Oh man. What do you think? John Righty wants to know. What do you think about the pit race announcement of them closing?
I heard that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Kind of sad, and kind of the owner was a dickhead.
Okay. Wow.
He
I didn't
came
expect
by-
you to go there.
Yeah, I mean, the guy was a total penis. What can I say?
Jesus Christ.
What?
That's awesome.
He yelled at
Yeah.
us?
I mean, isn't that the guy that yelled at you for parking in the grass or something? Was it
No,
that
we
guy?
didn't park in the grass. We're the one of the guys that didn't park in the grass.
Right.
You want to charge Motor America like $100K or something like that. They told the trucks to park in the grass over there. And then it rained. And apparently they had just put the grass there. And then the tractor trailers tried to get out of there, and they dug a bunch of grooves in the grass.
Right.
The guy's like, you're paying for my lawn, you're paying for this. And then he wanted charges for us staking our awning down, $2,000 a hole. I mean, just ridiculous stuff. The guy was losing his marbles. Came by yelling at us, taking pictures.
Yeah.
I'm like, who's this guy? They went over, yelled at somebody else. They yelled at the recipe team. Yeah. Penis.
Didn't they just dump a bunch of money into that place? Like,
He did.
just, you know.
The guy was, but I mean, he was not chill at all. I mean, he could have handled it a little bit different. He was being bombastic.
Yeah, see, it's full circle. It's that show.
His money versus damage was not apples to apples.
There, yeah.
Very
little
bombastic,
throwback.
apples to apples.
Yeah, it's I'm getting a lot of comments of get off my lawn type of stuff.
He was the get off my lawn guy.
Right.
He needs to get himself a house and just kick back and scream at people.
So there's a couple of comments about Moto America. There's one about the tires, asking if we're going to run a 120 front or 125 front. I believe it's a 125 front. World
What do you mean
Superbike.
for what?
125 70
For
17.
our next spec
tire
tire?
size. The tire size in World Superbike.
It's a 125. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a 125. Yeah.
I think they're all the same now. I think they got away from the 120s.
Well, they still have the 120s for like little bikes.
Little
kinda.
bikes, yeah, but I think even
Yeah.
Daytona ran a 125.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think Chavi liked it better than the 120. We tested it, and I think Peterson liked it better than the 120.
Hmm.
So even on the R6, I think the 125 was better. But you have to have a certain feel. It's all about feel. Some guys prefer the 120 because on a small bike because they feel like it turns better. But if you're braking leaned over, you may want the larger tire.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. This Daryl Rothschild guy once he says that he thinks Moto America should move to an open choice of tire manufacturers. Dunlop is no longer US made, so there should be no more loyalty to one manufacturer.
I don't think it's got anything to do with US made.
Right.
I think it's got loyalty to
the company that wrote a big check.
I think all those Washingtons, they all add up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's where the loyalty lies.
Yeah, big check. Right. Well, now that we talked about Dunlops, what do you think of the shark bite stuff that we saw over the weekend?
The what?
That's what it looked like.
Oh,
it looked like a shark. Yeah, like a shark took a bite out of the tires.
Who am I going to piss off on my bombastic thing on that?
I don't know.
So Strat came over after they had the failure in qualifying.
Yeah.
And, you know, he wanted to get with Jeff and I and say, what are we going to do? Like, how do we approach it? I said, I would go straight to course control and tell them they need to pull that tire.
Right.
You know, and there's some other stuff that went on behind the scenes I don't know about.
Right.
You know, just rumors that Dunlop wanted to pull the tire, but Moto America said, no, we'll go ahead and shorten the race.
Right.
And I know that Dunlop knows what they're doing. They understand it takes about 5 laps for the tire to get the temperature throughout.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what we see in our data. Lap 5, the thing is stabilized and hot. So that means that from lap 5 on, you could have this issue if it's a temperature / flex issue.
Right.
Because once the temperature gets hot, once the tire gets hot, it's going to flex and get contact patch a certain way or blow up a certain way. And if it's an air issue, like too low of air,
right?
I heard that too. They're running the air too low, like what they had with Pirelli back in the day when they had the World Superbike issues.
Right.
They put in that 1.65 bar minimum, which is like 24 psi. I think we talked about that. You know, so you know, people are running 19, but if that's the issue, then it should have failed in the opening laps.
Right.
You follow what I'm saying? Because the tire, all it does is grow. If you had TPMS on a tire and you run in 19 when you start, and if you didn't have I don't want to get into all the details of how we do tires, but if you didn't have your tire temperature set properly to where it would stay level, let's say, or attempt to stay level, it tends to climb and get hotter and hotter and get more pressure in it. So it gets more pressure in it as you're racing it. Mm-hmm. You know, so I don't think it was a flex issue. I think it's just a lamination problem. So I think it could have happened at any time. It just depends how much load you put on the thing for how long. And so I think it's something that Dunlop has to address. I'm sure they will.
Yeah, I mean, I talked to Corey Maynard, and she was saying at dinner anyway. She was saying
that,
yeah. So she said that there was a couple. It was like the perfect storm of events, right? So, you know, you've got that turn 7, 8, 9 complex where they're on the side of the tire, kind of on the gas for a long period of time. They said, then also there may be some variation in the because it didn't happen to everybody. So there may be some tire pressure stuff that, and I was like, well, why don't you guys set a mandatory minimum tire pressure? Boom, problem solved. And I guess then Moto America's going to be tasked with that. Like,
she came by, we were at, you know, that one steakhouse where it was Longhorn or some crap, and she came by and saw the bar, and she mentioned I mentioned to her that, you know, how World Superbike does it when they had failures before, with the guys going lower pressures until the thing debeads or comes off the rim or something terrible happens. You know,
right? You
can't let things around flat. You try to get the biggest contact patch you can get, and if the tire construction is such that you can run it low, you know, then you could get away with it. But I don't think the Dunlop really serves you any purpose when you run it lower. I know we run them a little bit less than they do in World Superbike, like 19 versus, but 19's been a pretty steady. 19 to 21's been a pretty steady number,
right?
For even for Superbikes, you know, and so I think they said something I had to be over 22. Can't see between 22 and 19 having a failure. Like, to me, from an engineering side, that's too close on your safety factor.
Right.
You know, like you should be able to run that thing around at 10 psi and not have a failure.
Right.
For a safety factor. You know, that's just too close. So I don't know. I'm sure they'll figure out what the issue is and make a good tire. It's just going to slow. Unfortunately, probably slow the development of the new tires for next year if they have to go fix a problem.
Right.
I think. I don't know. I haven't seen Hunter around. It's kind of interesting. He was the tire development guy over there. Been interesting to ask him that question. You remember?
Yeah,
Hunter?
well, maybe he was busy because we got the new guy, right?
Zach.
Yeah, Zach.
Yeah.
He rolled up. He's like, "Hey, man," and I'm like, "Hey." And then he was out of uniform the first day, so
Yeah.
I had without
he
the
looked like,
Dunlop shirt on, I didn't recognize him.
yeah, I didn't recognize him either. He's like, "Hey," I'm like, "What are you doing in our pit?" And hi, who are you? Yeah, I'll be looking after your tires this weekend. I go, "Who's this guy?"
Right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's Zach, the tire guy.
Right.
Yeah, he's all right.
So
But,
what do you
so I don't know I don't know what their
Yeah.
like I said, the solution would have been my solution would have been to take the tire off the rotation, which is what they end up doing.
Right.
But Ray Hall got a flat in the race, and so hindsight's 2020, but
Yeah.
they end up doing that in race 2 anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
I think Chuck was telling me that they Dunlop told them what was going on and they decided to shorten the race.
Yeah.
So that's what they did.
Yeah, but I don't think I heard Dunlop didn't decide that because Richie Alexander, I talked to him on Monday. We're packing the crate. He said he was standing next to Tony when he was telling him stuff, and that Motor America decided to just shorten the race, 5 laps or whatever. But I don't think 5 laps is going to do the trick.
Right.
I don't know what lap did PJ's tire?
I think it happened on like lap 8.
Yeah,
or 9 or something.
5 laps into it.
Yeah,
comes up, pressure comes
Right.
up. Yeah,
Yeah.
about 5 laps. Depends on how hard you're riding it, but that track generates quite a bit of heat for sure, front and rear. But the thing is, though, Coda generates more heat, and Coda's got longer corners.
Think of the carousel, right?
Yeah, the corners are terrible long over there. That big long right-hander. So I don't know if it's those.
I mean, were they running R4s at Coda?
I think they were R4s and R6s. I don't know. I don't run Super Sport, but I'm pretty sure those were the tires at every racetrack.
Yeah,
I would doubt it. So, but I could be
curious.
I could be 100% wrong.
I'm curious, like why it happened on a couple of bikes, but not on the rest of them.
Well, you didn't tell me to research that.
I
Told
wasn't.
me in advance, I would have found out what tires I ran at Coda.
I'm sure. Yeah, I don't think the 750s had the tire failure like that, and it was just a couple of R9s and Ducati. A couple of Ducatis. I think that's it. So
Well, it depends on the balance of the bike and how much load you're putting on that rear tire. How's it accelerating, right?
right.
Yeah, so there's a lot of factors.
The guys at the pointy end it affected basically.
Yeah, the guy's going faster, which makes sense, right?
Right.
They put the most force, the most load, all that stuff on the tire.
Right.
Yeah, piece of rubber.
That sounds like a glamorous thing to be a tire tester, huh?
I don't know. You can ask what's his name that does it all day long. What the hell's his name again?
Taylor Knapp, right?
Taylor Knapp. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't know why I can never remember his name. I've only known the guy forever.
I don't know why I remember the guy's name.
Yeah, I'm
I don't
terrible.
remember anything.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, any secret sauce you're gonna cram into your luggage for World Superbike or what?
That was the problem. I didn't bring in his pole position crap with me.
You know what? I got room in my suitcase,
It
man.
doesn't work. It doesn't work at World
Oh,
Superbike.
it only works on Dunlops, doesn't it?
No, we don't use it on the tire. We use it on the rider.
Oh,
Remember?
okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it doesn't work in World Superbike because it's Europe. It's stuff. You're not allowed aerosols over there, I think.
Oh, well, it's got to be a renewable pole position spray, and we don't. We missed the order window.
Have the dirty ass American style.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, dude, I think we're gonna wrap this thing up, man.
Cool. I'm tired of talking.
Before you go, what do you think Top Rack's gonna do in MotoGP? That's from Matthew McComber, by the way.
I think he's going to take a few tests to learn all the buttons. But I think he's a super talented guy when it comes to balance and body position and all those things. I mean, even the stuff that he does, the balancing on a chair and things like that, it takes coordination. I think once he gets there and he realizes he's got to lay his shoulder on the ground, I think he'll eventually do that.
Right.
But I think it's going to be hard for him to learn all those buttons. But he might. Some guys can't do it. They can't work all those buttons. Which is. I mean, you look at the controls, and you got the squat device, and you have the squat release device, and then you got buttons, and you got the rear brake, then you have your up and downs on your selector. So there's just a few more things going on, which I'm sure he'll figure it out.
Right.
You know, because he's a talented guy. He's not an older guy that can't even use a rear brake on the left side.
Right.
You know, he knows how to use all that stuff anyway. He just has to learn how to use a squat device, which is probably going to go away soon enough anyway, right?
Right.
I think they're going to eliminate it in 27 or 28 or something.
Yeah, 27. They're getting rid of the transformer stuff and narrowing up the arrow and that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's too bad because I think that stuff is pretty cool to have a.
Yeah. It is cool, but it's also, you know, the other argument is that they don't look like motorcycles anymore. They look more like
They absolutely look like motorcycles. You need to go back in history and see what some motorcycles used to look like. It used to look like a bathtub that was covered in both tires at one point.
Well, motorcycles used to look like a bicycle.
Yeah, everything's changed.
They look like a Pee Wee Herman bicycle, actually.
That's called development. Formula One cars don't look like regular cars either.
Right.
But that's where you learn all development. I mean, hybrids, like all the hybrid technology we have now, a lot of it comes from Formula One.
Yeah.
You know, so all that stuff is just constant development. It makes a better motorcycle at the end. So if we start chopping it all away, it just becomes one less thing that you get down the line on the street bikes.
Right. Yeah. Making control racing out of a prototype series kind of makes a little not really making a lot of sense at all.
It doesn't make a prototype series. Yeah.
No.
You know, you got to have the guys up front like Ducati or whoever to push everybody else to think harder.
Right.
Like we're going to have to think pretty hard next year with Bobby and a Ducati.
If that's the truth.
Right. I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
Here.
Like I haven't seen it yet, but that's what one of the rumors.
Yeah, nobody wants to announce something until they got the livery and the leathers and we got the photo.
Big check.
And the signed contract and all that stuff all lined up. Sometimes it takes a month or two to get all that stuff done.
Well, I guess if MotoGP ditches the ride height devices and unlimited aero, I guess we could add that to Superbike here, right?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the rules. You know, the rules you can't really do much in Superbike here. The arrow's fixed to has to be within a certain angle of OEM, has to be OEM. Yeah, but you know, Ducati always bends the OEM rules by coming out with side pods like they did with a new bike. You know, so now they have ground effects.
Right.
Basically, that's what the side pods do. When things leaned over, you get it use some ground effect, and then they have multi-slat. You know, winglets increase the surface area instead of the stupid little winglets they have. So
the DRS.
What's that?
We're gonna call DRS.
Well, that's what basically the squad devices do. The bike goes like this, and it reduces the drag on the winglets. So it can run more aggressive winglets.
Right.
So all that stuff is just things that could be done. I mean, you see bikes like even big bikes where they can change ride height, right? Like cruisers. Right. So it's not like something all crazy. You know, so kind of shame they get rid of some of the technology, but whatever. Maybe it'll make the racing tighter.
Well, man, we're about an hour and 20 something into this thing, and we talked some crap, talked about all the stuff, and we're going. Yeah. I guess I'll see you on the flight next week. That's fun.
Yeah. They might tell me to shut the hell up on the plane because I'll be so bombastic.
They just might, dude. They just might. You know, but bring your devices, and then you won't even hear them.
Yeah, I'll be sleeping the whole way.
Well, you know what? Thanks again for putting up with my crap all season, and thanks to everybody watching this show, man. Make sure you like and subscribe and share and mash all the buttons and all that stuff. And I'm sure Richard and I will do another one when we get back from World Superbike because I'm sure we'll have all sorts of fun.
Yeah, I'll be doing more of these after World Superbike.
Yeah, if you can't tell, he's Richard's not emotional at all, man. You know, like that right there, what you see, that's exactly how he is, no matter what, pretty much. Oh, here's a good one, real quick. Am I welcome back to the team next year?
You know, if it was something like Ranger Battalion and we took a peer evaluation, I don't know if you'd make it.
Oh, stop.
I just don't know if you'd make it.
Oh, man. Here we go. Anyway, man.
All right.
Thanks again, and I guess I'll catch you on our Euro trip.
All right. Cool, man.
See ya.